Captain Kim Taemin stood at the observation deck, watching the final pieces of the massive ship come together. The Mars shipyards stretched for kilometers in every direction. Thousands of workers moved like tiny ants around the giant vessel. But this was no ordinary ship. This was humanity's greatest creation. The ship was called the TDS Baekdu. It was named after Korea's most sacred mountain. The name meant something special to Kim. His grandfather had climbed that mountain many times. Now Kim was about to command something even more impressive. "Sir, Admiral Park is here to see you," said Lieutenant Commander Yoon Da-eun. She was his second in command. Da-eun was smart and fearless. Kim trusted her completely. Admiral Park Sora walked into the room. She was the head of all human space forces. Her face looked serious but proud. Behind her came Dr. Lee Han-sol, the man who designed this incredible ship. "Kim, are you ready for this?" Admiral Park asked. Her voice was calm, but Kim could hear the excitement underneath. "I've been ready for 3 years, Admiral," Kim replied. He had studied every part of this ship. He knew it better than his own home. Dr. Lee stepped forward. His eyes were bright with pride. "Captain, let me show you what makes the Baekdu special. This ship is not like anything we have ever built before." They walked through the ship's corridors. The Baekdu was huge. It was over 3 kilometers long. That made it bigger than most space stations. The walls were made of a special metal that could repair itself. The floors felt solid under their feet. "Here is the main weapon system, Doctor," Lee said as they entered a large room. "We call it the quantum fold cannon. It can tear holes in space itself. The energy comes from folding space and time." Kim looked at the weapon controls. They seemed simple, but he knew they controlled incredible power. "How much damage can it do?" he asked. "It can destroy a moon," Dr. Lee said quietly. "But it can also be set to just disable enemy ships. The choice is yours, Captain." They moved to the next room. "This is the Armor Control Center," Dr. Lee explained. "The ship's skin is made of billions of tiny robots. When something hits us, the robots learn from the attack. Then they change to protect us better next time." Admiral Park nodded. "The ship gets stronger every time it fights. That's the idea." The tour continued. They saw the gravity drive that let the ship move in impossible ways. They visited the AI core that could think almost like a human. Everything was designed to be the best in the galaxy. "Captain," said Dr. Lee, "there is something else you should know. We built this ship to send a message. Humans are not weak anymore. We will protect ourselves and our colonies." 3 weeks later, the Baekdu was ready for its first mission. Kim sat in the captain's chair on the bridge. The bridge was shaped like a circle. From his chair, he could see everything. The crew worked at their stations around him. "Captain, we're getting a distress call," said Lieutenant Yoon Da-eun. "It's from the colony on Kepler 442b. They're under attack." Kim straightened in his chair. "Who's attacking them?" "Vorthen ships, sir. 6 of them. They're demanding the colonists surrender all their supplies." Kim knew about the Vorthons. They were aliens made of living crystal. Their ships were fast and their weapons were powerful. Most human ships could not fight them and win. "Set course for Kepler 442b, Kim ordered. "Maximum speed." The Baekdu moved through space faster than any ship had ever moved before. Space seemed to bend around them. What should have taken 3 days took only 6 hours. When they arrived, Kim saw the Vorthen ships surrounding the human colony. The alien ships were beautiful, but deadly. They looked like floating crystals covered in weapons. "Human ship, you will leave this place," came a message from the Vorthans. "This system belongs to us now. Your people will serve us or die." Kim stood up from his chair. "Open a channel to all ships," he said. The main screen showed the lead Vorthan. "Ship." Inside, Kim could see the alien commander. It looked like a walking piece of rainbow-colored glass. "I am Captain Kim Taemin of the Terran defense ship Baekdu," Kim said calmly. You will leave these people alone. This is your only warning." The Vorthon commander made a sound like breaking glass. Kim knew it was laughing. "One human ship against 6 Vorthon destroyers? You are brave but stupid, Captain Kim." "Dr. Lee, are the weapons ready?" Kim asked quietly. "All systems ready, Captain," Dr. Lee replied from his station. "Target all 6 ships," Kim ordered. "But do not destroy them. I want to disable them only." "Sir?" Daun looked confused. "Disable them. How?" Kim smiled. "Show them what the Baekdu can do." The ship's weapons fired. But these were not normal weapons. Beams of twisted space-time reached out from the Baekdu. They touched each Vorthon ship for just a second. Suddenly, all 6 alien ships stopped moving. Their weapons went dark. Their engines went silent. They were still there. But they were completely helpless. The whole battle took 30 seconds. "What did you do to us?" the Vorthon commander demanded. His voice sounded scared now. "I removed your ability to hurt people," Kim replied. "Your ships are fine. Your crews are safe, but your weapons and engines will not work for 24 hours. Kim turned to Da-un. "Send a message to the colony. Tell them they are safe. Then send a message to Earth. Tell them the Baekdu's first mission was successful." As the human ship prepared to leave, Kim heard the Vorthon commander talking to his other ships. "Report this to the Council immediately. The humans have built something impossible. Something that should not exist." Kim knew those words would spread across the galaxy. Every alien race would hear about the ship that could disable 6 warships in 30 seconds without destroying them. They would all learn that humans were no longer weak. The Baekdu turned and jumped back into space. Behind them, the Vorthon ships floated helplessly while the human colonists celebrated their freedom. In his cabin that night, Kim looked out at the stars. He thought about what they had just done. They had not just saved a colony. They had announced to the galaxy that humanity was ready to defend itself. But Kim also knew this was just the beginning. The real test would come when other alien races learned about the Baekdu. Some would want to be friends. Others would want to destroy them before they became too powerful. Kim fell asleep wondering what tomorrow would bring. Outside his window, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter as if they too knew that something important had changed in the galaxy. The Galactic Council chamber was the biggest room Ambassador Choi Min-ho had ever seen. 12 different alien species sat around a circular table that was larger than a football field. Each species had their own section with special air and gravity for their needs. Choi walked to the human section in the center of the room. He was Earth's voice in this place. Today, that voice would need to be very strong. The High Arbiter Keln called the meeting to order. Keln was from the Zentari race. They were the oldest species in the galaxy. Their skin looked like old leather, and their eyes were completely black. "We are here because of the human ship called Baekdu," Keln said. His voice was deep and slow. "Counselor Thex will tell us what happened." Counselor Thex was a Vorthan. His crystal body caught the light from above and threw rainbows across the room. But today those rainbows looked angry. 3 weeks ago, my people were conducting a legal resource collection in the Kepler system, Thex began. Choi knew this was a lie. The Vorthans were stealing from human colonists. "A single human warship appeared," Thex continued. "It disabled 6 of our destroyers in 30 seconds. Our weapons and engines stopped working. We could not fight back. We could not even move." Murmurs went around the room. Some aliens sounded scared. Others sounded angry. "Show us the recording," demanded General Vrak from the Krix Empire. The Krix looked like giant insects with metal parts attached to their bodies. They loved war more than anything else. A hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed the Baekdu facing 6 Vorthon ships. Then it showed beams of strange energy reaching out from the human ship. In seconds, all the alien ships went dead. The room became very quiet. "What kind of weapon does this?" asked Ambassador Nayla from the peaceful Delphian Republic. The Delphians looked like tall, thin humans with blue skin. Choi stood up. "Honorable Council members, the Bekdu was defending human colonists from attack. We used only the minimum force needed to stop the threat." "Minimum force?" General Vrax's mandibles clicked angrily. "You disabled 6 warships with 1 shot." "We could have destroyed them," Choi replied calmly. "We chose not to. That shows our peaceful intentions." High Arbiter Keln raised one ancient hand. "Ambassador Choi, our scientists have studied this recording. Your weapon appears to manipulate space and time itself. Is this correct?" Choi took a deep breath. "I cannot discuss the technical details of our defensive systems." "Defensive systems?" Thex's crystal form flashed bright red. "This is a weapon of mass destruction. It could destroy entire star systems." The room erupted in angry voices. Aliens shouted in dozens of different languages. Choi waited for them to calm down. "The humans have gone too far." General Vrak slammed his metal fist on the table. "They have upset the balance of power in the galaxy. This cannot be allowed." Ambassador Nala spoke more quietly. "Perhaps we should ask the humans to explain their intentions. Surely they built this ship for a reason." Choi nodded to her gratefully. "The Delphian ambassador is wise. Humans have been attacked many times by various species. Our colonies have been raided. Our ships have been destroyed. We built the Bekdu to protect ourselves." "By building a ship that can defeat entire fleets?" demanded Councillor Zeph from the hegemony of Crix. "This is not defense. This is preparation for conquest." Hi. Arbiter Keln studied the hologram again. "Our experts say these quantum weapons could destabilize a star if used incorrectly. One mistake could kill billions of beings." Choi felt the weight of every alien eye on him. "The crew of the Bekdu are highly trained. We would never use such weapons carelessly." "But you admit you have them." General Vrak stood up to his full 3-meter height. "You admit you can destroy stars." "We admit we can defend ourselves," Choi replied firmly. "Nothing more." The debate went on for hours. Some species wanted to ban the human ships immediately. Others wanted to study the technology. A few suggested making an alliance with the humans. Finally, High Arbiter Keln called for order. "We will vote on Resolution 2847. This resolution declares ships of the Bekdu class to be weapons of galactic destruction. It bans their construction and orders existing ships to be destroyed." Choi felt his heart sink. "Honorable Arbiter, humans have the right to defend themselves." "Not with weapons that threaten the entire galaxy," Keln replied. The vote began. The Zentari voted yes. The Vorthons voted yes. The Crix Empire voted yes. One by one, species voted to ban humanity's most powerful ships. When it was over, 8 species had voted yes. Only 4 had voted no. Resolution 2847 passes, High Arbiter Keln announced. Humanity has 60 days to comply. All Bekdu-class ships must be destroyed or surrendered to the Council. Choi stood up slowly. "I must inform the Council of something important. Earth has not built one of these ships. We have built 3. The room fell silent again. 3? Thex's crystal body went completely white. "You have 3 of these weapons?" "We have 3 defensive platforms," Choi corrected. "And now you have told us we cannot keep them. You have told us we cannot defend ourselves." General Vrak pointed an armored finger at Choi. "You will obey the Council's decision." Choi looked around the room at all the alien faces. Some looked angry. Others looked scared. All of them looked like they had made a terrible mistake. "I will take your message to Earth," Choi said, "but I cannot promise my government will accept it." As the meeting ended, Choi walked to his ship. Commander An Kyung-soo was waiting for him at the airlock. "How did it go, Ambassador?" An asked. "They banned our ships," Choi replied. "They want us to destroy the Bekdu and her sister ships. On's face went hard. What will Earth say to that? I don't know, Choi admitted. But I have a feeling we're about to find out. As their ship left the station, Choi received an urgent message. From Earth, pirates were attacking human colonies near the Outer Rim. They were led by someone calling himself Warlord Vex. The message said the pirates had Krix weapons and ships. Choi looked at the message again. The timing was very suspicious. The Council bans human warships, and suddenly pirates with Krix weapons attack human colonies. Commander On, Choi said, send a message to Admiral Park. Tell her the Council has made its decision, but also tell her that our enemies may be testing us already. Should I mention the Krix connection to these pirates? On asked. Choi thought about it. Not yet, but prepare a full report. I have a feeling we're going to need evidence of what's really happening here. As their ship jumped to hyperspace, Choi wondered if the Council had just made the biggest mistake in galactic history. They had tried to take away humanity's weapons just when humanity needed them most. He thought about the 3 Baekdu class, ships orbiting Earth. Soon his government would have to decide. Obey the Council's ban or protect human lives. Choi was pretty sure he knew what choice they would make. In the distance, space pirates gathered their fleets and prepared to test. Whether humans would really give up their most powerful weapons, they were about to learn a very hard lesson about underestimating humanity. The alarms screamed across New Busan Colony as pirate ships dropped out of hyperspace. Colonel Park Ji-hoo watched from the command center as dozens of enemy vessels surrounded his world. His hands shook as he counted them. 43 ships. The colony only had 6 defense platforms. Sir, incoming transmission, reported Sergeant Kim. It's from the lead pirate ship. The main screen flickered to life. A massive alien face appeared. It had 4 eyes and skin like metal armor. This was Warlord Vex, the most feared pirate in this part of the galaxy. Humans of New Busan. Vex's voice sounded like grinding metal. Your Galactic Council has forbidden your super weapons. You are helpless now. Surrender your food, your technology, and half your people as slaves. Do this, and the rest may live. Colonel Park activated his communicator. This is Colonel Park Ji-hoo, military commander of New Busan. We will never surrender to pirates. Warlord Vex laughed. The sound made everyone in the command center cover their ears. Brave words, little human. But where is your mighty Baekdu now? Your own council has banned it. Park cut the transmission and turned to his staff. How long? Until our defense platforms fail? Maybe 2 hours, sir, replied Lieutenant Yoon. Their ships have Krix Empire weapons. Our shields can't hold against that kind of firepower forever. In the colony's research center, Dr. Kang Hyrim worked frantically to save her data. She had spent 3 years studying alien plant life that could revolutionize human medicine. If the pirates took the colony, all that work would be lost. Doctor, we need to evacuate, said her assistant. Not yet, Dr. Kang replied. 5 more minutes. I need to finish uploading this data to Earth. Outside the colony's dome, Major Lim Dong-wook prepared his marine forces for ground combat. He had only 200 soldiers against an invasion, force of thousands, but humans had always been good at fighting impossible odds. Listen up, Major Lim shouted to his troops. We might be outnumbered, but we're defending our home. Every second we hold them back gives our families more time to reach the shelters. The first wave of pirate fighters screamed through the atmosphere. They fired energy beams that lit up the sky like deadly fireworks. The colony's shields flashed and sparked as they absorbed the attacks. Shield generators at 60%. Reported Sergeant Kim. Colonel Park opened a channel to Earth. Mayday, Mayday. This is New Busan Colony. We are under attack by overwhelming pirate forces. Request immediate assistance. The reply came 30 minutes later. New Busan, this is Admiral Park Sora. Help is coming. Hold your position. But Park, new help could not arrive in time. Earth was 5 days away, even with the fastest ships. The colony would fall long before then. 20 light-years away, Captain Shin Yu-jin sat in her cabin aboard the TDS Jiri. The Jiri was the second ship, of the Baekdu class. Like her sister ship Baekdu, she was incredibly powerful and officially banned by the Galactic Council. "Captain," came the voice of her communications officer, "we're receiving sealed orders from Admiral Park." Captain Shin opened the message. It was short and simple. "The colony of New Busan is under attack. You are authorized to break the council ban. Protect our people." Shin looked at the message for a long moment. If she used the Jiri to fight, it would mean war with the Galactic Council. But if she did nothing, thousands of human colonists would die or become slaves. "Lieutenant Commander Moon," she called to her second-in-command, "set course for New Busan, maximum speed." "Sir, that will violate the council ban," Moon reminded her. "I know," Shin replied. "But some things are more important than politics." Back at New Busan, the situation was getting worse. The colony's shields were down to 20%. Pirate landing craft were already entering the atmosphere. "Sir, our perimeter is being overrun," Major Lim reported from the front lines. "They have battle mechs. My Marines can't stop them." Colonel Park watched helplessly as the enemy closed in. In 30 minutes, maybe less, the colony would fall. Then he saw something impossible on his sensors. "Sir, we have a ship dropping out of hyperspace," reported Sergeant Kim. It's the TDS Jiri." The pirate fleet turned to face this new threat. Warlord Vex appeared on screen again, but now he looked angry instead of confident. "What is this? The council banned your super ships," Captain Shin's voice came over the radio. "New Busan Colony. This is Captain Shin Yu-jin of the TDS Jiri. We are here to help." On the bridge of the Jiri, Captain Shin studied the enemy fleet. 43 ships, mostly Krix designs with some modifications. They had the colony surrounded and were preparing to land troops. "All stations, battle ready," Shin ordered. "Let's show these pirates what happens when they threaten human civilians." The Jiri moved toward the pirate fleet like a shark approaching a school of fish. The pirates opened fire first. Hundreds of energy beams reached out toward the human ship. The Jiri's adaptive armor absorbed every shot. The tiny robots in the ship's hull learned from each attack and adjusted their defenses. By the third volley, the pirate weapons were completely useless. "Their weapons aren't working, sir," reported the tactical officer. "Good," replied Captain Shin. "Now let's show them ours. Target the largest ships first. Use gravity wells." The Jiri's main weapons fired, but these were not energy beams or missiles. They were distortions in space itself. Gravity wells formed around 6 pirate ships, crushing them into tiny balls of metal and plasma. The remaining pirates scattered in panic, but the Jiri was faster than any of them. The ship's quantum drive let it appear anywhere in the battle zone instantly. "Target the troop transports," Shin ordered. "Use the space-time cutters." Beams of twisted reality reached out from the Jiri. They passed harmlessly through the pirate, ship's hulls and shields. Then they found the ship's weapon systems and simply deleted them from existence. The transports became helpless flying boxes. "What are you doing to us?" screamed Warlord Vex over the radio. "Teaching you a lesson about picking on the innocent," Captain Shin replied calmly. The battle turned into a demonstration of human technological superiority. The Jiri systematically disabled one pirate ship after another. Some she crushed with gravity. Others she stripped of weapons with quantum cutters. A few she simply pushed away with force fields. In 10 minutes, the entire pirate fleet was either destroyed or helpless. But Warlord Vex had one last trick. His flagship was a massive Krix dreadnought, bigger than the Jiri and armed with planet-killing weapons. "If I cannot have this colony, then no one can," Vex screamed. His ship turned toward New Busan and charged its main gun. "He's going to destroy the planet," reported the tactical officer. Captain Shin made a decision that would be talked about for centuries. "Use the dimensional eraser." "Sir, that weapon is still experimental," warned her weapons officer. "Do it," Shin ordered. The Jiri's most advanced weapon fired. It was a beam that removed things from reality itself. Where Warlord Vex's dreadnought had been, there was now simply empty space. Not wreckage, not atoms, nothing at all. The surviving pirates fled in terror. They had never seen anything like this. They spread word across the galaxy about the human ship that could make other ships cease to exist. On New Busan, Colonel Park and his people watched in amazement as their saviors cleaned up the remaining threats. The Jiri moved through space, like a hunting wolf, making sure no pirates were left to threaten the colony. "Colony Command, this is Captain Shin," came the transmission. "All hostile forces have been neutralized. Your people are safe." Colonel Park found his voice. "Captain Shin, we owe you our lives, but won't there be trouble with the Galactic Council?" Captain Shin's reply was simple. "Let them complain. Humans protect humans." As the Jiri prepared to leave, it received a priority message from the Galactic Council. The message was not friendly. To the human vessel that violated Council Resolution 2847. You have 24 hours to surrender yourself to Council forces or face the consequences. The galaxy will not tolerate this defiance. Captain Shin read the message and deleted it. She had more important things to worry about than alien politicians. On New Busan, the colonists celebrated their freedom. They had learned something important. Their own government valued their lives more than alien approval. But across the galaxy, other powers were making their own plans. The humans had shown they would not obey the weapon ban. Now it was time to make them obey by force. President Nam Yoonji stood on the observation deck of Luna Station, watching the largest fleet in galactic history gather at the edge of human space. Through the massive windows, she could see thousands of alien ships forming battle lines. Ships from every major species in the galaxy had come to force humanity to obey the Council ban. "How many?" she asked General Oh Hyun-woo, her military advisor. "Final count is 10,000, 200 ships," the general replied. His voice was steady, but his face showed the strain. "The Krix Empire sent 3,000 alone. Even the peaceful Delphians sent warships." President Nam nodded slowly. She had known this day would come ever since Captain Shin saved New Busan Colony. The galaxy had decided that humanity was too dangerous to ignore. "What about our fleet?" she asked. "Fleet Admiral Song has positioned our forces between Earth and the alien armada," General O reported. "We have significantly fewer ships." President Nam smiled grimly. "How many, General?" 300, ma'am, including the 3 Baekdu-class vessels. In space, Fleet Admiral Song Jae-won studied the enemy formations from the bridge of the TDS Baekdu. The alien fleet stretched across space like a metal wall. Every ship bristled with weapons. This was not a diplomatic mission. This was an invasion force. "Admiral," reported Captain Ryu Seo-jun from the TDS Halasan, the 3rd Baekdu-class ship. "The aliens are broadcasting surrender demands. They want us to power down our ships and prepare to be boarded." Admiral Song activated his communicator. "All human ships, this is Fleet Admiral Song. Today we face the combined might of the galaxy. They have come to take away our right to defend ourselves. What is our answer?" From 300 human ships came the same reply. "We stand together," the A2. Alien fleet commander was Admiral Korthak of the Krix Empire. His insect-like face filled the communication screen as he spoke to Admiral Song. "Human Admiral, I am authorized to speak for the Galactic Alliance. You will surrender the 3 banned warships immediately. Your crews will be taken into custody. Refuse, and we will take your ships by force." Admiral Song leaned back in his captain's chair. "Admiral Korthak, I have a counter-proposal. You will leave our space immediately. Continue to threaten us, and we will demonstrate why you should not have come here." Admiral Korthak's mandibles clicked angrily. "You are outnumbered 30-1. Your arrogance will destroy you." "Numbers are not everything," Admiral Song replied calmly. "Would you like us to prove it?" The alien commander cut the transmission and gave orders to his fleet. "All ships, advance! Destroy the human vessels!" 10,000 alien warships moved forward like an avalanche of metal and energy. Their weapons began charging. Space itself seemed to bend under the weight of so much military power. Admiral Song watched them come. Then he activated a special communication channel. "Hidden Fleet, this is Song. Execute Operation Revelation." Across human space, hundreds of ships suddenly appeared. They had been hiding in asteroid fields, behind moons, and in the shadow of planets. These were not the same ships the aliens expected to fight. "Admiral, what are those?" asked Captain Kim Tae-min from the original Baekdu. "The truth," Admiral Song replied. "The 3 Baekdu-class ships were never our main fleet. They were prototypes, test platforms. The real fleet is what you see now." Every hidden ship was smaller than the Baekdu, but they all carried the same advanced technology. Quantum weapons, adaptive armor, gravity drives. Humanity had been building these ships in secret for 2 years. The alien fleet stopped advancing. Admiral Korthak's face reappeared on screen, but now he looked less confident. "How many ships do you have?" he demanded. "Enough," Admiral Song replied. "But we don't want to fight you. We want to show you something instead." The 3 Baekdu-class ships moved into formation. They positioned themselves in front of the entire alien armada. Then they began to glow with an inner light. "What are they doing?" Admiral Korthak asked his science officer. "They're generating a coordinated gravity field," came the reply. "But the power levels, this is impossible." The gravity field reached out from the 3 human ships and gently but irresistibly pushed against the alien fleet. 10,000 warships suddenly found themselves moving backward through space. It didn't matter how much thrust their engines produced. The gravity field was stronger. "Stop this!" Admiral Korthak screamed. "This is an act of war." "No," Admiral Song replied. "This is a demonstration. We could crush your entire fleet into a black hole if we wanted to. Instead, we're just moving you away from our space." The alien fleet continued to slide backward, unable to resist the human gravity field. Some ships tried to fire their weapons, but the same force that moved them also deflected their shots harmlessly into space. "You see," Admiral Song continued, "we don't need to destroy you to defeat you. We can simply choose not to let you hurt us." On Luna Station, President Nam watched the incredible display. The most powerful military force in galactic history was being pushed around like toys by 3 human ships. "General O," she said, "make sure our allies are watching this. I want everyone to understand what humanity is capable of." General O smiled. "Yes, ma'am. The whole galaxy is watching." In the alien fleet, panic was spreading. Ship captains reported to Admiral Korthak that their weapons and engines were useless against the human gravity field. "How do we fight something like this?" asked his tactical officer. Admiral Korthak had no answer. His fleet was the strongest ever assembled, but it might as well have been made of paper boats for all the good it did against human technology. "Admiral Song," Admiral Korthak finally said, "what do you want?" "Very simple," Song replied. "Leave our space, stop threatening our colonies, and understand that humans will defend themselves with whatever means necessary." "The Council will never accept this," Korthak protested. "Then the Council needs to learn some wisdom," Song said. "We don't want to rule the galaxy. We just want to live in peace. But if you force us to choose between peace and survival, we will choose survival every time." The gravity field continued to push the alien fleet away from Earth. Some ships tried to break free, but the human field was too strong. They were carried along with the rest. "This is impossible," Admiral Korthak said. "No species should have this much power." "No species should need this much power," Admiral Song corrected. "You made it necessary when you tried to take away our right to defend ourselves." As the alien fleet was pushed further from human space, something unexpected happened. Some ships began breaking away from the main formation. They were not trying to escape the gravity field. They were trying to approach the human fleet. "Admiral, we're receiving communication requests," reported the communications officer. "Multiple species want to talk." The first message came from Ambassador Nala of the Delphian Republic. "Admiral Song, the Delphian fleet wishes to withdraw from this action. We see now that we made a mistake." More messages followed. The Aquarian. Collective wanted to discuss trade agreements. The hegemony of Nexus requested a meeting about technology sharing. Even some Vorthan ships were asking about diplomatic talks. Admiral Korthak watched his great alliance fall apart in real time. Cowards, stand and fight. But his allies were not cowards. They were smart enough to recognize when they were beaten. Fighting the humans would only lead to their destruction. Admiral Song addressed the fragmenting alien fleet. "To those who wish to talk instead of fight, you are welcome. To those who still think force is the answer, remember what you have seen here today." Finally, Admiral Korthak gave the order to retreat. The Krix Empire's ships disengaged from the gravity field and jumped away. With them went about half the alien fleet. The remaining ships approached the human fleet carefully. They came not as conquerors, but as potential friends. Admiral Song opened communications to all the approaching ships. "Welcome to human space. We hope this is the beginning of better relationships between our peoples." On Luna Station, President Nam smiled as she watched former enemies become potential allies. The galaxy had come to destroy humanity's weapons, and ended up discovering that humanity's greatest weapon was not technology at all. It was the wisdom to know when not to use their power. "General O," she said, "prepare for diplomatic talks. I think we're about to get very busy." As the day ended, humanity stood stronger than ever. They had faced the combined might of the galaxy and won without firing a single shot in anger. But more importantly, they had shown the galaxy that humans could be trusted with great power. The age of human isolation was over. The age of human leadership had begun. 1 year after the great confrontation at Earth, the galaxy had split into 3 groups. Some species had become allies of humanity, others still opposed them. Many stayed neutral, watching to see what would happen next. Fleet Admiral Kim Tae-min stood on the bridge of the TDS Baekdu as it led a mixed fleet through uncharted space. Beside the famous human warship flew vessels from 6 different alien species. The Vorthans had become humanity's strongest allies. Their crystal ships gleamed, like rainbows next to the dark hull of the Baekdu. "Admiral," reported Captain John Min Seo from the exploration ship TDS Sejong, "we're detecting something unusual in the next system. The readings don't match any known technology." Kim studied the sensor data. Whatever was out there was big, and it was sending out energy patterns that made no sense. "All ships, proceed with caution. Unknown contacts ahead." On the diplomatic station New Harmony, Ambassador Lee So-young was meeting with representatives from the Vorthan Confederation. The crystal beings had surprised everyone by requesting an alliance with humanity after seeing the restraint humans showed during the Great Fleet Battle. "Ambassador Lee," said Counselor Thex, the same Vorthan who had once opposed humanity in the Galactic Council, "our scientists have studied your gravity manipulation technology. We would like to offer a trade." Lee smiled. Thex had become one of her closest alien friends over the past year. "What kind of trade, Counselor?" "Our shield technology for limited access to your gravity systems," Thex replied. "Not weapons of course, but perhaps gravity drives for our exploration ships?" "I think that can be arranged," Lee said. "But remember, any shared technology comes with rules about how it can be used." Meanwhile, in the outer systems, trouble was brewing. A faction of the Krix Empire had refused to accept humanity's new position in the galaxy. General Vrak had gathered extremist groups from several species and was planning something desperate. Dr. Bae Young-ho was working in his laboratory on Luna Station when the alarms started ringing. As head of the technology sharing program, he was used to emergency calls about equipment failures or alien ships having problems with human technology. "Dr. Bay," came Admiral Park Sora's voice over the communicator, "we have a situation. A rogue Krix fleet is approaching the Centauri system. They're armed with some kind of new weapon." Bay dropped his tools and ran to the command center. The main screen showed long-range sensor data from the Centauri system. A fleet of modified Krix ships was moving toward the human colonies there. "What makes these ships special?" Bay asked. "Our contacts in the Krix government warned us about this," Admiral Park explained. "General Vrak has equipped his ships with forbidden weapons, planet crackers, star destroyers, things banned by every galactic treaty." Bay felt his blood run cold. "He's going to try to destroy the colonies?" "Worse," Admiral Park said. "Intelligence suggests he wants to force a fight with our Baekdu-class ships. He thinks if he can destroy one of them, it will prove humans aren't invincible." The distress call from Centauri reached Earth 6 hours later. "This is Governor Han from New Sol Colony. We are under attack by unknown Krix forces. They are demanding we surrender, or they will crack our planet like an egg." Captain Shin Yu-jin of the TDS Jiri was the closest human commander. Her ship was only 2 days away from Centauri, but she would not be fighting alone this time. "Captain Shin," came a transmission in the musical language of the Delphian Republic. "This is Captain Melodius of the Delphian ship Harmony's voice. We are in your area and request permission to assist." More voices joined the channel. Vorthon ships, Aquarian vessels, even some peaceful Zentari exploration craft. The galaxy's good species had decided to stand with humanity against the extremists. General Vrak watched this gathering alliance with growing anger. His plan had been to fight humans alone. Now he faced a coalition of species working together. "No matter," he told his officers. "Our new weapons will destroy them all. Then the galaxy will see that humans are not gods." The battle began when Vrak's ships opened fire on New Sol Colony. Their planet cracker weapons sent beams of destructive energy toward the surface, but the TDS Jiri appeared just in time, using its gravity fields to deflect the deadly beams into space. General Vrak, Captain Shin broadcast to the Krix fleet, "This is your only warning. Cease your attack and withdraw." "Never!" Vrak screamed back. "Today the human myth dies." The Krix ships attacked with everything they had. Star Destroyer cannons that could burn away atmospheres, quantum missiles that could shatter moons, gravity bombs that could collapse matter into neutron density. The Coalition fleet met them with courage and advanced technology. Vorthon shields, deflected energy weapons. Delphian ships used sound-based weapons to disrupt Krix electronics. Aquarian vessels unleashed swarms of smart missiles. But the real surprise came from the TDS Jiri itself. Captain Shin had been working with Dr. Bay's team on new applications for human technology. Today, she revealed the result. "All Allied ships, coordinate your attacks with my targeting data," Shin ordered. "We're going to try something new." The Jiri's quantum computers analyzed the enemy fleet and shared perfect targeting information with every Allied ship. Suddenly, 6 different species were fighting as one perfectly coordinated force. Vorthon energy beams hit exactly where Delphian sonic disruptors had weakened armor. Aquarian missiles struck just as human gravity wells held enemy ships in place. Zentari science vessels used their sensors to guide everyone else's weapons. "Impossible!" General Vrak shouted as his fleet was systematically destroyed. "How can different species fight so well together?" "Because we choose to trust each other," Captain Shin replied, "something you never learned to do." The battle ended when Vrak's flagship tried to ram the colony. The TDS Jiri used its most advanced weapon to simply teleport the enemy ship away from the planet. Vrak and his crew found themselves floating in empty space, 30 light-years from the nearest star. "You have not won," Vrak broadcast as rescue ships approached his stranded fleet. "Other enemies will come, stronger enemies." Captain Shin looked thoughtful. He might be right about that. But when they come, they'll face all of us together. 3 months later, Admiral Kim Tae-min made a discovery that proved Vrak's words true. The exploration fleet had found something at the edge of the galaxy, something that made even the Zentari elders nervous. "What is it?" asked Ambassador Lee during an emergency council meeting on New Harmony. "We're not sure," Kim replied. "Our sensors detect massive structures, ships maybe, or space stations. They're bigger than anything we've ever seen." Dr. Bay studied the data. "The energy signatures are completely unknown. Whatever built these things, they're not from our galaxy." Counselor Thex's crystal body flashed with worried colors. "The ancient records speak of the builders. They vanished from this galaxy millions of years ago. Perhaps they have returned." "Are they hostile?" asked Captain Melodius of the Delphians. "Unknown," Kim admitted, "but they're moving toward populated space. We estimate 6 months before they reach the first inhabited systems." The room fell silent as everyone absorbed this news. After all their struggles with each other, the galaxy might face a threat from outside. Ambassador Lee stood up. "Then we have work to do. It's time to bring all the galaxy's species together, even our former enemies." Over the following weeks, an unprecedented thing happened. The Galactic Council reconvened, but this time it included new members. The Crix Empire sent negotiators. The hegemony of Nexus requested membership. Even isolated species that had never joined before asked to participate. The centerpiece of the new alliance was humanity's offer to share defensive technology with anyone who promised to use it only for protection. The 3 Baekdu-class ships would become training platforms, teaching other species how to use advanced weapons responsibly. "The ban on Baekdu-class vessels is hereby lifted," announced High Arbiter Keln during the historic vote, "but their construction will be supervised by a joint council of all species." As the galaxy prepared for whatever was coming from beyond the stars, Captain Kim Tae-min stood once again on the bridge of the TDS Baekdu. But now the ship was not alone. Around it flew hundreds of vessels from dozens of species. All of them carried some form of human technology. All of them were crewed by beings who had learned to work together. "Admiral," reported his communications officer, "we're receiving a signal from the unknown contacts. It appears to be some kind of language." Kim nodded. "Send it to the linguistics teams, all species working together. If we're going to talk to these builders, we'll do it as one galaxy, not as separate races fighting each other." The TDS Baekdu, once declared too dangerous to exist, now led the greatest alliance in galactic history toward an uncertain future. The ship that had been banned for being too powerful had become a symbol of unity and hope. As they traveled toward the edge of known space, Kim reflected on how much had changed. A year ago, humans had been a minor species with a few colonies. Now they were partners with beings they had once feared, and leaders of an alliance that spanned thousands of worlds. The most overpowered human warship had taught the galaxy its most important lesson. True strength comes not from the power to destroy, but from the wisdom to protect and the courage to unite former enemies against greater threats.